Good evening, welcome to season number 15 of the Next Gen Racing Leagues. We're here at Donington Park National for the start of the Group A1 Tourers. And it's open choice, it's open season as Omega goes a little bit of a spin there. We have 15 drivers on circuit. We have Dean Whitehouse 7 in an Audi, NGR Omega 1984 in the Mercedes number 47, Scooby G back in his Ford Sierra Cosworth number 36, NGR Lee, who's still in the pits, I think he's in a Merc, Tro 246, the Les, who's in an Audi, NGR Burnt Fry, who's in a Skyline, Debutante here, Shadowstalker DBS, web user Johnny, Lion of Greasby, who's just had a massive impact with NGR Royston, bit of a T-bone, Lion Greasby in a Merc, Royston in the Skyline. I think Royston just losing the back end there, going out of the old hairpin. It's going alright, Harry. How are yourself? He has the Baz 27. 1 week, probably NGR MLV the next. Burnt Fry has disconnected. He will have time to get back into the session though. That will not be an issue. Yeah, it's been going alright. Good little off season. Certainly quite a long one, being the summer holidays for most of the drivers. See some of them having kids and that. See school holidays want to spend it with the families. So quite a peaceful one. Someone spun at the chicane. NGR Tim is a Skyline looking to make some waves this season. Lightblade 2K18. NGR Jamie WRX. And Jack Tim 53 Synopsis, the host of the night for the Group A1s. He's in a Sierra. Yeah, it's going to be great to race again this season. And obviously, as you can see, a big rule change for the Group A1s this season. The Audis and Nissans are back. However, they are for people who haven't won a race, I believe. If I'm correct in thinking that. Let's just have a double check. A little bit of background I got intel from the host earlier today. So actually, NGR Burnt Fry and Shadowstalker DBS are debutantes in the Group A1s. GT5 Vass, who isn't here at the moment, might come a bit later. Hopefully, he's a returnee. He'd be the first time since season 5 if he does get around to getting in. He's only ever driven one race in the Group A's, which he won at Donington Park, the GP layout. So if he does arrive, he could be a bit of an upset for everyone else. He is allowed to use the Audi on this one because that was back. Season 5 was back on Project Cars 1. So yeah, very, very interesting scenes. Let's have a look here. Group A1 Tourers. Let's just confirm this rule, because obviously I am probably correct, but I'm majoritarily wrong, incorrect most of the time. So let's have a look. Yes, I am correct, which is very not often. Only the Audi and Sky are for drivers who have not won a race during their time competing in the Group A1's history. So, yeah, should spice things up a little bit. Jamie currently sits on pole position now with a 1:11.5, Scooby G a 1:11.6, the 4-time Group A1 champion, Scooby G. There's the Les in the Audi. He's currently third with web user Johnny. 4th on the grid. NGR Lee is in 5th. Dean Whitehouse 7 is in 6th. NGR Royston, he's up into 7th. Tro 246 in 8th with the 116.2. A bit of work to do here for Tro in the Audi, as does Royston in the Skyline. Lightblade is on a 116.3. Liner Greasby in the BMW, a bit of a brave choice that for Liner Greasby. Just mainly because it's not the quickest car out of the 3 stock ones, because obviously if you don't have the DLC you can't have a Skyline or an Audi. Now obviously that is probably the slowest one of the 3 stock standard ones. Omega down in 12th, obviously a bit of work to do though. He's got a bit of a learning curve as well. So it's been a while since Omega's driven these cars. So he's going to have to get some time behind the wheel. And Shadowstalker down in 13th at the moment in his Mercedes. Brent Fry back in, which is good to see, and Jack yet to set a time. There's Scooby G on his way out. The Les has taken pole position at the moment with a 111.3. Let's go on board here with the pole sitter, or current pole sitter at least. Well, the bonnet side narrow was annoying. So we head up towards Redgate. A tight corner in these things as you approach it. It just tightens halfway through the bend. So you've got to be really careful on the throttle where you pick it up. That's a bit wide. That'll probably be the lap over. But we'll carry on through Hollywood, flat right. And he's backed off, which is a shame. I want to have a bit of a flying lap. Got anyone coming up? Light Blade. Where's Jack on the track? He's already gone through. And this is Jamie. Going up through McLean's and up into Coppice. Fast approaching Liner Greasby here. So, onto the main straight, let's go here. Jamie WX, a lap at Donington. So, we go across the line, up to Redgate. Hit the brakes. Again, be careful with the throttle on the way out. You got to get it as early as you can, but don't want to go wide. Down towards Hollywood. Again, should be absolutely pinned through here. Yep, pretty much. Through the corner curves. A little bit of a lift to make sure the back end don't step. Hit the brakes into the old hairpin, brake to the left. Hit the curb on the right hand side. Then just use a bit of the exit curve, not too much, it'll drag you in. Through Starkey's Bridge and through Schwartz Curve we go. And it's the left-hander up into McLean's. Hit the brakes as in a straight line as you can. Tuck the car in and then bring the throttle in as soon as possible. Up the hill towards Coppice, a blind right-hander over the crest, turning with blind faith that the car's going to stick. And not as early as Jamie would have liked then on the throttle, but still not too bad. Using a bit of exit curve there onto the back straight. Down towards the Fogarty S's. Flick it right, flick it left, using as much curve as you can get away with. Not even a touch of exit curve really there. Good stuff. Jamie, what time can he produce here? He does go quicker, but not by enough. He's 0.120 away now from the Les, who is currently in that pole position. The Les, who's had a highest place of second, I believe, or third. No, sorry, third. He's had 2 third places, I'm led to believe. But go through the stats. Technically, this man is quite well off. Jack Team 53 Synopsis has had 20 pole positions in his time, 22 wins, 38 podiums, and he's won 3 titles in this league. He's got a bit of work to do here in this qualifying session if he wants to get that to pole position number 21. There's Brent Fry, up into 11th at the moment. Now Scooby G coming towards his the last couple of corners, the chicane. Interesting fact, Scooby G has had 18 pole positions, I believe that is. 20 wins and 44 podiums. Very consistent driver. Obviously a bit of an off lap on that one, or a warm-up. And he's now claimed 4 titles in this series. He took season 12 and season 14. As he goes through the crane, is absolutely flinging the car through there as he hits the brakes. The car gets sideways. He's caught it on the opposite line. That's a great save. Oh, and he's just clipped the curb, and that has spun around that Schwartz curve. That's not the place you want to be there. On the inside, that is the racing line. And luckily no one in the way. NGR Lee has popped in a time of a 1:11.6. Jack is back in the fray, a 1:12.5. 1.2 off the pace of the Les. Jack is going quicker. He's 1,000th up on his best time at the moment, which would put him 1.220 off, rather than 1.221. Let's follow the host as he goes round in the number 91 Mill go-kart. Good chunk of time Jack's taken so far now, out of his time, out of his best lap. He could be on for taking the pole position. So he hits the brakes into the foggy S's. Flick it right, flick it left. And he's gone in the pits, and maybe he ended up having a bit of a cut track penalty or something of that nature, because he looked like he was going well on that lap. That's an Audi in the background. I don't know who that is, but that was an Audi. I think that was D House 7 going careering off in the background. Oh, I think that was at Hollywood. Or was it at McLean's? Well, it could have been all hairpin. It could have been any of the corners, really. A right-hander. It was definitely that. As Royston comes down the back straight towards the Fogarty S's. Onto the line. Can he improve on his 8th place? The answer is no. 6/10 down on his best lap. Show 246 in his Audi. Can he improve? No, he's 6/10 down in his personal best. So watch Brent Fry, debutant. Oh, he's just going to let someone through there. Just let Tim through in the number 55. He's run wide at Coppice. Luckily, I think he's got 4-wheel drive. So that's a good save. And here comes Jack, who will be starting another lap. This is on board then. Luckily Jack's agreed to a bit of a helmet cam, whereas his head doesn't move a lot. I'll give it that. He's a pretty robotic driver in there. Just moves his arms. But let's go for a bit of a lap here in the cockpit, just see what a lot of the, because obviously there's different views in the game. And this one a lot of people use, along with like the roof camera, the bonnet camera. So it's good to see a variety of different levels. But Jack hits the brakes into the old hairpin. Really trying to elongate that third gear there, because obviously if you change up a bit too early, these cars do bog down a little bit. Goes into McLean's. Bit of opposite lock. The Coppice. Shouldn't need any opposite lock really here. No, he's got that absolutely right, and he's up on his time. He's had a good run. The Les only 0.029 at the moment in the in that pole position place. Can Jack get anywhere near that top 4? Yes, he can. He puts it fourth. A 1:11.5. That was Greasby going through? No, it wasn't. It was someone else in a yellow car. Tim's in the pits. Brent Fry, he's gone off at the chicane by the looks at the Fogarty S's. He's gone in, and that's over for his qualifying. Have a look. Here we go. Tro 246. Can he get through any more places. He's 11th at the moment. He does go quicker, but not by enough. Time is up. Who is going to be next across this line? It's going to be Scooby G. He's currently 5th. Can improve. He stays 5th. Here comes Jack into the Fogarty S's. He's, yeah, as in traditional Jack style, in all fairness, he almost never completes his last qualifying lap. He always stops and makes a practice start of things. Omega coming through now. He's gone off at the chicane. Well, I suspect he's just pressed the pause button. D7. That's going to be a track limits issue. And he's ploughed it into the barrier for good measure. And Jamie taking his sweet time. Probably doing some practice starts anywhere he can. But then Gian Lee puts it in 2nd. A fantastic start. And there's a practice start for you in a Ford. So the Les takes pole position, and I believe the Les, what's his highest qualifying, is 2nd. He's taken his first pole position here at Donington Park with the Audi by .029 to NGRE. Jamie WRX qualifies 3rd from Jack, Scooby G, Web User Johnny, D Whitehouse 7, Royston, Lightblade 2K18, Omega 1984, Tro 246. Burnt Fry 699 comes in 12th on his debut. And Lionel Greasby 13th, Tim 78 14th, Shadowstalker 15th and last on his debut in his Merc. I just got confirmation there from Jack. He was 6/10 up, and then he cut the final chicane. So that's why he aborted. I thought he was a bit more than that. I thought he was about 7 or 8 tenths. I thought he was on to potentially take the pole position time there. But, although maybe that's Jack's final effort he was on about, because he did go steaming into that chicane. But it doesn't matter. This is what matters now. It's season 15. We have the 3 red lights for the first time. We're green and Donington Park. And what a getaway from NGR Lee. He's gone smoking into the lead, although that four-wheel drive of the Audi should keep up with him as we head towards Red Gate for the first time. Hopefully we'll get a clean start. Scooby's looking down the inside of Jamie. He's not even going to bother with that one. Les still leads. A bit of contact between Jamie and Lee as they go through Red Gate now. Down to Hollywood. It looks like we've got away. No, we haven't quite got away clean. It's an Audi. That is Webs of Johnny, who's gone for a bit of a spin at Red Gate. But a good clean getaway otherwise. No accidents. As we head through the old hairpin for the first time, NGRE in second place, having to defend off from Jamie WRX. As looks like a bit of an issue down at the old hairpin. That's where user Johnny coming back, as is Tim. So maybe a bit of a scuffle between those two. And the Les leads though in the Audi from Jamie, who's made the move on NGRE. There's Scooby G in fourth. Although, now, at least an issue coming. Carp is one next to me. He's really, really slow. Here comes Scooby down the inside. Jack almost looking like he's going to pierce the two of them in the middle. Scooby G backs out of it though, as we head out of the Fogarty S's for the first time, and the Les leads the first lap with a 0.9 gap to Jamie WRX. In the background, there's Lionel Greasby with Tro 246. Looks like Lionel Greasby going past into the top 10. And now Jack is all over the back of Scooby G, coming down through the crane of curves towards the old hairpin. Not normal. Well, I say normally overtaking spot. I quite enjoy overtaking down through this section. That's Lee. He's sideways. And there goes Scooby G. That's going to be third place for the green machine. Jack's on look to take advantage as we go through Swartz Curve and into McLean's. Jack does take advantage up into 4th place for the host. Behind, DYR7 and Lightblade are starting to catch him. This could make up for an interesting scrap. Jamie is catching the Les. He's now 6/10 behind. Down into the fog of the S's. Challenge Look is having a bit of issues there at the back. He's just dropped a bit more time coming out of McLean's. But across the line we go. Scooby G still in that 3rd place. But this is the battle that's starting to heat up now. Jamie WRX is getting on the tail of the Les. Meanwhile, Jack is still looking for a way past Scooby G. The 4-time Group A champion. But at the front, Jamie's looking... I thought he was looking down the inside then. He's a bit too far back. The camera angle kind of misled that one. Jack's lost a bit of time here to Scooby G. Now Lee's on the back of him. Look through the timing screens. Not a lot else going on at the moment battle-wise. But Jamie is now on the tail of the Les, and I'm going to put him down that he might have a look into Redgate if he gets a good enough run, and he hasn't had a good run. That's not ideal for him. He needs to be within probably 2/10 of a second out of the fog of the S's to have a run into Redgate. Jack is still looking at the back of that green machine as we go on to lap number 4 of 19. Oh, and a bit sideways from Scooby G. This could allow a door to open here for Jack as he goes up through Starkey's Bridge into Schwartz Curve, into McLean's. Jack's run a bit wide. Not an ideal place really to run wide going through Schwartz Curve. Those Fords are looking very tasty in the department of handling. They really are a handful today. Meanwhile, at the front, a better launch out from Jamie. He's still not quite going to be close enough, is he? He has a look. He's having a look. He's nowhere near him, really. Really trying to fill the mirrors of the Les. Although if he gets a good run coming out of Redgate into Hollywood, there is a chance down into the old hairpin. Got a good run, but so has the Les. The 4-wheel drive of that Audi very, very nice, and it's shaping up to be one hell of a battle at the moment here for the win. This is your leading pair, and the more these guys, they're not really fighting either, which is almost good for them because it means they're still pulling away from the guys behind. And you see that Jack looking at Scooby G, probably knowing he's a little bit quicker at the moment. Jack running in the 112s. Being stuck behind Scooby G. Meanwhile, Lightblade. There's Burn Fry. Not far behind him. These two have had battles on track before in other games. Skyline versus Mercedes. As they head through the Fogarty S's. That looks like Shadow Stalker. Is the lap to come? And Birdfry's lost the rear. Has he saved it? Yes, he has. Great save from the Skyline man. He's lost a bit of time, but he should be able to gain that back quite nicely with the 4-wheel drive system of the Nissan. The R32. A really, really good car back in the day. Meanwhile, Jack is still up the chuff of Scooby G. Through Coppice, Scooby's really racking it a bit more here. See the back end rotation a little bit more than Jack going through. He's getting it a little bit more sideways. And Jack can't really do much about it because he's actually making his Ford a little bit wider. Well, he's obviously dropped off the back of this, although this looks like a potential move shaping up here. Jack down the inside of Redgate. Oh, and he's being squeezed by Scooby G. That's absolutely fair game at the moment. Down through Hollywood. Jack looking for any gap he can. Now, maybe Johnny's got past Burnt Fry in the process into 8th place. But Jack is still on the tail. This is how close we are to the Binfield Garage sponsored man. Completely different line through McLean's, a better line from Jack, but he can't quite use it up towards Coppis. Oh, this is getting tight. And it looks like Jamie's made a mistake up ahead. He's now 8 tenths, nearly 9 tenths away from the Les. Really trying to push it. Jack's on the grass looking for any sort of advantage here. That is one hell of a move. Down the inside of the Fogarty S's. Can he keep it? Scooby G back round the outside. Fantastic driving from the pair of these guys. Between them they have 7 titles of just the Group A1s alone. That is class racing, and the Les has a penalty for corner cutting by the seams of that. Oh, that's a bit wide. I think Jack may end up getting a penalty for that one potentially, unless he's managed to back off enough over the curbing. He hasn't gained anything. Highblade also with a penalty through the old hairpin. It wouldn't surprise me if Les has picked that penalty up through the old hairpin. Or possibly on the exit of Redgate. And that's Scooby G. Scooby G slowing down. He had... I think I know what he's just had. Just had a slowdown, and Jack's been overtaken by Lee in the process. So Jack's gone up a place and down a place. He's pretty much stayed where he is. Meanwhile, the Les has made a mistake somewhere, and Jamie WX is now into the lead of this race for the first time. On lap number 8, he now leads on to lap 9, or at the half, coming up towards the halfway point of this race. So interesting scenes there. Jack's down the inside of the lead though. Through Redgate we go. Still side by side. Not quite anymore. The drive from Lee just about outweighing the advantage Jack had on the inside. So go into the old hairpin, and that's Lee very, very wide. If Jack can keep a nice tighter line, can't quite keep as tight as he would have wanted then. And it shows he hasn't quite got the advantage he probably should have gained. Down towards McLean's. These guys have been nose to tail pretty much all race long. And again, Jack trying to almost force Lee into a line he doesn't like. As they now head down. Meanwhile, the Les is right on the back of Jamie. He's going to look for an overtake now. Out the Fogarty S. He's using the 4-wheel drive system. But look at the pace of that Sierra. This is a perfectly balanced championship. This could be, with the lower end drivers getting the chance to use the 4-wheel drive and look for a win. See the Les just practically pushing Jamie around the corners, but as soon as you get to a straight, the Ford's gone. You just can't keep up with it. It is like the Ferrari of the Group A1s when you get to the Group A category cars. Bloody awful through a corner, but fantastic down the straight. As they now head, I think Scooby G's gone off the tail of the two chasing here, which is NGR Lee and Jack. Don't forget, Les has a 3-second penalty here. 3-second penalty for the Les, meaning he needs the gap right now to NGR lead to be 3.4. And is not. Well, that's 3.4 to Jamie WRX, but yeah, Lee is currently 2.8. Looking down through the field, let's have a look. Tro 246. Tim isn't far behind. There's Omega. He's having a bit of a poor race. D White. I think that should be D Whitehouse's car, really. So, number 47, Mobile in the Merc. Shadow Stalker's just having a nice drive around at the moment. He's doing, for a debutant in these cars, not too bad. Could be a lot worse. Jack, there's Scooby G's called back up again. What's this? Like he's got a corner of the tyres, but there's the mistake Jack's been looking for. NGR just goes slightly wide through Coppice, opens the door, and Jack doesn't need a second invitation for that one. And the Les. Oh no. This is bad news. I wonder if that is the common TV issue Jamie's been having lately, or it's plagued him through the last season, and it looks like it might have just plagued him again. But anyone is unaware, Jamie has an issue with the TV. Every now and again it just decides to switch to normal TV, I believe, rather than staying on the game, and that's the cause and effect of it. That is such a shame for Jamie. He was a shoo-in really for the win once he got past the Les, because there's nothing the Les could do in a straight line. All he had to do was make sure he kept him behind in the corners. But that promotes Jack into second place, and if he stays at this gap of less than 3 seconds, promote him to the win. Meanwhile, Scooby G has got past NGR Lee. So that's a positive for the defending champion. I think NGR Lee, I think he has won a title, you know. Let's confirm with my sheet. Where is he? NGR Lee. NGR Lee. Yes, NGR Lee was the season 5 champion. So between these three guys, between second and fourth, you have 8 Group A1 titles. Obviously, different versions of the Group A1s, because I think Season 5 might mean a Sierra Cup, or possibly the first season of the Open Group A Challenge. But, yeah, 8 titles in this category between these three men. Fantastic stuff to look at. Now, 2.2 is the gap. And Jack is catching the Les. This is lap number 13. Now, as a driver, oh, that's a get out of the way, please, and thank you. I was wondering if he had a slow down penalty then for Jack. That's almost weird. Across the line he goes. 2.1 the gap. The Les is got traffic ahead of him. That is Omega cleaning off his tyre by the looks of it. Really not having a good day in that mug. The Mercedes are not really anywhere. Where's the top one? Obviously, there's Jamie, who's past web user Johnny. There's Lightblade 2K18, the top Mercedes. He's in 8th place. Which is a bit weird, because this is normally quite a good Mercedes track. There's Royston. Burnt Fry currently in the top 10. This is a good start on his debut. Liner Greasby, Tim 78. There's Tro. There's Omega. It's not often I say this, but that's Omega being lapped here on lap number 14. There's Shadow Dog. He's about 2 laps down. He's almost fallen off the road at Coppice. 1.3 the gap then. And Jack has really reeled in the Les. And he's pulled away from Lee and Scooby G fantastically here. He's got himself a nice bit of space. Scooby G really on the tail of Lee. And he's trying to get back past him if he can. And the rest of the field slightly spread out. There's Jamie, who's chasing after D Whitehouse 7, who's got Shadow Stalker ahead of him as a back marker. I think at the same point, Jamie's doing about 10 mile an hour more than D Whitehouse 7. Not a great lap there from the Les. Lap 15 of 19. That is not the Les, that is someone out in the back. Could be Troy 246 actually, that one. Or is that going to be Troy 246? Yes, it was Troy 246 who got out of the way. Good stuff by him. The Les still leads this race, however he has a 3-second penalty, so right now he's back to third. There's Lee, who's catching back up to Jack. This is a really, really weird race this time around. Normally this race is like all of the other cars, the Fords suffer at the start. Or they take off really well and then suffer near the end. And then all of a sudden, this time around, it's been really yo-yoing around. Like all of a sudden, Jack's gone really quickly, then now Lee's gone really quickly. Scooby's been left in the dust. And I expect on like lap number 18, Scooby G will be going really quickly again. It's really, really strange race. There's no doubt about it. Jamie is still trying to catch up to DY7. I think he may be overdriving the car a little bit though. A 1:12.9 last time around. Trying to get after the Audi to get back into the top 5. It's not been the start he would have been hoping for in the Group A1s, but if you can get 5th, at least it's a start. You know, he's got some points on the board. There's a long, long season ahead. 11 more races after this, so anything can happen. The Les 0.8 now of a second in front of Jack. This gap ever closing. And Lee behind to go on board through McLean's up towards Coppice. Gonna curb into it. That's going to be a slowdown for Jack. Unless he's managed to get away with it. Yeah, there goes the lights. Oh, that's the lights for Lionel Griesby. He's being lapped. That's 11th place being lapped. Jack's running deep. This could be the chance Lee needs. Gets on the power. Goes to the outside. He's on the outside for Redgate. Can he clear him before? This would be a very tough move to pull if he's going to try around the outside. Besides better of it, looks maybe for a switchback. Oh, and Jack has read that perfectly. A great bit of defensive driving from Jack TM53 synopsis there. He knows he doesn't have to beat the Les on circuit. He would prefer to, but he knows he doesn't have to. As long as he's been within 3 seconds and he's got NGR Lee behind him, that's all he needs to gain those 21 crucial points to start his championship season. Maybe Johnny has a penalty. Jamie is now past DY 7. DY 7 making a mistake there on a 1:15.1. Lee has again dropped back from Jack. He's now got a second between. Jack at 1.2 down on the Les. Lightblade's got a massive gap. He's got a 28-second gap to the burnt fry. But Brent Fry doing very nicely there in 10th place. Lionel Griesby, who's a bit of a veteran, really. Even though he's on a controller, Lionel Griesby, that must be said. He's on a controller. He's a bit of a veteran, but there's a good result here from Brent Fry. Jack is ever closing in on that Audi. I mean, I will apologise to everyone else in the field. I mean, unfortunately, the battling has been at the front. And it's been non-stop. As we're on the final lap, heading towards McLean's. The question is, will Jack just settle for second on the road and first overall because of penalties, or will he make a move down towards the chicane because we know that car is quick enough? He's got a good line through Coppice. He's half a second away though. You see the traction of the Audi. It's going to be unfortunate for the Les. He's driven well today. He's just not quite gone his way with track limits. He's going to go through the chicane. Jack making sure he doesn't go cut anything. The Les will cross the line in first, but it will be Jack, TM53 Synopsis, who takes round one. NGR Lee takes second place. Scooby G moves up into third. The Les will be in fourth. Jamie WRX, not a great start to his campaign, obviously, with that issue, but he takes fifth place from DY House 7. It's a good start at least. Web user Johnny comes home in 7th place. In his Audi, Royston is going through the final chicane. He'll take 8th place, a good start for his championship in that Skyline. Cross the line he goes. That was Omega behind. I think that was in 13th place, I think. Lightblade. He does have a penalty. It won't matter though. He's got such a big gap over Burnt Fry. I think Burnt Fry's already finished. But Lightblade comes home in 9th place. Yep, Burnt Fry 10th. Lionel Griesby 11th. Troy 246 in 12th. Omega 13th. Tim running around currently in 14th. Here comes Shadowstalker DBS on his debut. He'll come home in 15th place and last. I think I'll take it. It's not the usual cars he drives. He's more of a favourite of. Tim's decided to make the new version. He wants to make the finish line, and he does. Probably with a 30-second penalty, but who cares? So Jack TM53 Synopsis takes the win here at Donington Park, followed by NGRE, Scooby G, The Les, DY House 7, Jamie WRX comes home in 5th place. DY House 7 is in 6th place. Bit of timing there for you from Project Cars. Web user Johnny takes 7th from Royston in 8th. Lightblade takes 9th. Burnt Fry 699, good debut in 10th place. Lionel Griesby 11th. Tro 246 in 12th. NGR Omega 1984 on his return goes 13th. Tim 78 didn't even get a penalty for that. That's fantastic. That's impressive. Takes a 14th place. And Shadowstalker DBS will take 15th and last. So, the next round for the Group A1 Tourers will be Nürburgring GP, and they'll all be in the BMW M1 Pro cars. So that is a belting car to drive. Next up is the modern touring cars. They are from Donington Park as well. I believe they're on the National Loop as well. So do join me in about 5 minutes time for that one. But for now, thank you for watching the Group A1s and enjoy the rest of your evening.